Electric offense. Unexpectedly good chemistry. I didn't expect the Warriors to look this amazing after moving on from Jordan Poole. So today, I'm going to be highlighting the 3 pieces that prove that making the big trade was the Warriors' greatest move to date, including their secret weapon they have that no one else does. Beginning with the first piece, the Warriors are going back to their most unguardable brand of basketball from the past. I liked Jordan Poole on the Warriors. Heck, I like him on the Wizards. We'll dive more into that in a later piece. But the thing is, I think I like Chris Paul even more on the Warriors because he's exactly what the doctor ordered in so many great ways for this aging but still effective dynasty. Here's the thing. The addition of Chris Paul is golden in 2 key ways, and both of these ways are perfect for the Warriors given the advanced age of their superstars and how it caters to exactly what makes them so explosive offensively. The first thing is that Chris Paul will allow the ball to move more freely and decrease the load on mainly the shoulders of Stephen Curry. What is the one common theme with all superstars in NBA history once they've reached an advanced age? They either had to cut back their usage rate or play a completely different brand of basketball. Steph Curry's game would have aged gracefully anyway because he shoots better than any human ever. But what the presence of CP3 will hopefully allow Steph to do is get off the ball way more. And yes, that's a good thing because Steph Curry in the 2023 NBA postseason had a staggering usage rate of 32%. That was even more than Nikola Jokic and Jimmy Butler, the 2 guys who led their team to the finals as the primary ball handlers. So, what does this tell you? It tells me that the Warriors were largely a one-man offense and Steph was overburdened, which meant the ball wasn't moving and problems upon problems persisted for the Warriors, to the point where we saw Steph sometimes going 1-on-5 versus the Lakers, and he still got his team to 6 games. Now, for the critics out there, I know. You're probably saying, are the Warriors really making an injury-prone 38-year-old undersized point guard the answer to all their problems? Really? Yes. And it's not necessarily because of CP3 only, it's because of how CP3 unlocks Steph, Klay, and the rest of the offense. How his persistence alone gives the team a brand new X factor that'll be a load for every team to try and figure out. Again, the Warriors don't need CP3 to score 25 a night and dish out 15 dimes. They just need that expert facilitator to unleash their secret weapon. And speaking of that secret weapon, I know you've been wondering, that's what Piece 2 is all about. The Warriors will be a devastating small ball team, leaving teams hopeless for answers. Guys, it's almost 2024, and teams are scrambling to assemble a lineup that is versatile offensively and can outpace, outscore, and out-energize other teams. With Jordan Poole now cleared from the books, the Warriors don't have to worry about guys stepping on each other's toes and worrying about everyone getting their touches to score the ball. They could go back to being a quick-fire, fast-paced team that was always so hard to contain because of their shooting and selflessness. Let us start with the most fundamental aspect of basketball, the pick and roll. The pick and roll, often hailed as the bread and butter of modern basketball, is where Chris Paul not only operates, it's what makes his game masterful.
He's sitting on 8 made 3-pointers. Paul again for 3.
His command of this play is simply in line with what the Warriors will need in a small ball lineup, given the emphasis in the Warriors' offense on spacing, speed, and precision. I touched on it a bit in the previous piece, but Chris Paul's ability to read the defense, make second split decisions, and execute flawless pick and roll plays is a game-changing asset, and it's something that allows everyone else in the lineup to impact the game in so many different ways. I can name so many ways, but take Draymond, for example. He's always been the Warriors' facilitator on the perimeter and even in transition. But with Chris Paul stepping in and handling the playmaking duties, guess what that means for Draymond? He can now step back a bit and give all of his tenacity on the defensive side of the ball because that offensive load won't be nearly as much. And you thought I forgot about Klay, didn't you? Klay Thompson might just be the biggest beneficiary to this entire shift because now his ball handling responsibilities will drop even more leaving him to shoot mostly three-pointers and become arguably the best decoy in the NBA as he runs around the perimeter and distracts defenders from CP3's and Steph's playmaking. Look, bottom line is, teaming up with the Warriors sharpshooters, Stephen Curry, Klay Thompson, and the versatile Draymond Green would be basketball brilliance. The opposing defenses would be left scrambling to contain this potent combination, straight up torn between collapsing on CP3's drives and his use of the mid-range game and closing out on the Warriors' deadly shooters. Like, damn, how do we stop all of this? Which brings us to the other end, the defensive side of the ball. Will the Warriors, with 3 guards in their starting lineup, be even halfway decent defensively? Small ball success hinges not just on offense, but also on the defensive end. Chris Paul, though not the biggest player on the court and obviously quite up there in age, is still known for his IQ, his quick hands, court awareness, and his ability to disrupt passing lanes, which still makes him a pest for opponents. No, I'm not trying to make him out as 96 Gary Payton, but what guy in the NBA right now can give you what CP3 does offensively, and with his leadership, that also possess some value on the defensive side? While Jordan Poole, in a nutshell, is probably the more skilled and more talented of a player compared to CP3, he isn't court savvy like CP3. And even at his still young age, wasn't helping the Warriors much on the defensive end. But all things considered, CP3 is likely going to have his minutes staggered, and he'll definitely be playing during crunch time. And I just have that sneaky suspicion that Steve Kerr and the original core will get together and work out a massive plan. A hard-to-reach plan that's going to bring another component to the Dubs we haven't seen before. And finally, for piece 3, the Warriors wouldn't have met their potential with Jordan Poole, and nor would Poole have met expectations with the Warriors. We've talked and talked about what could have been, all the what-ifs and all the potential dream scenarios, including Jordan Poole one day taking the reins for the Warriors after the Steph Curry era would come to an end, and how he'd keep the Warriors relevant for many years down the line. But we quickly realized after one short season that simply was not going to be the case. Not a chance. Sure, you could chalk it up to the ruined locker room and team chemistry because of the fight, but in reality, it stems way deeper than that. For those who were and are still questioning the Warriors for sending a potential future superstar away for an old and quote-unquote washed player, ask yourselves this: how would the Warriors have managed things in a way to sustain and continue to build through their core of Steph, Klay, and Draymond, and at the same time focus on getting Jordan Poole his touches and morphing him into a superstar? Many times, when a dynasty receives a young talent and he emerges into star quality, that said player is happy playing a certain role and accepts himself as playing under the rest of the team. For Jordan Poole, with his persona, coupled with the Warriors allowing him to shine due to the absence of Klay Thompson 2 seasons ago, Jordan Poole picked up that swagger and felt confident enough to see eye to eye with Steph Curry in terms of being the featured guy on offense and being treated like a superstar, which is obviously completely against the Warriors' notorious culture of selflessness, ball movement, and sacrifice. And for Poole, he's in the picture-perfect situation right now. He gets to take most of the shots, runs the offense, and be the featured guy. Exactly the things he wants. Plus, he's got his championship ring. He's shown he can play on the biggest stage. Now, he's got a situation where he can continue building his resume and his reputation as one of the best young players in the entire NBA. Was this trade a win-win for both sides? Yes. In a lot of ways, in fact. But in the Warriors' case, I think I just proved why this trade was simply perfect for their ongoing situation and their quest for a 5th title in 9 years. In the ever-changing landscape of the NBA, provided everyone stays intact and healthy throughout the long NBA season, which is a pretty big if, I'll admit, but if this happens, the Warriors sit here as the most surefire team in the NBA given their experience and veteran star power. But now, I want to hear your input on all of the above, all the ins and outs, all the things I just laid out. Are the Warriors really for real, or will they miss Jordan Poole?